Hey guys, it's Generalkidd here. How's everyone doing today? So, for today's video, well, almost 16 years ago, there was a huge mystery discovered in Halo 3 ODST called the DaVinci World Easter egg. So, it originated when a glitch was discovered where you could hijack a Banshee on Kizingo Boulevard. Now, it's a little tricky back then, but with MCC and the Acrophobia skull, it's a lot easier to do now. And with this Banshee, you could actually easily get out of the map and just explore around, fly wherever you want. It's a huge area to fly around. But the most interesting thing that people discovered outside the map with the Banshee is to the west of the city, while you're facing the skyscrapers, there is a huge DaVinci World object or area just floating out of the map, and you can see it right here. There's a huge area, and it's probably the biggest DaVinci Code textured object that anyone's ever discovered in any Halo game. Even bigger than the DaVinci World, the DaVinci Towers in Halo 3. But no one ever really knew what this was. It was just a huge mystery. Nobody ever figured out what the purpose of it was or why it's out here. So I decided to look into it and try to figure it out if I could. Now, it took a little bit to figure this out, but it's actually part of the skybox. I thought it was part of the map, but it was actually part of the skybox. So I extracted the 3D model for the skybox and threw it into Blender to see if we could look into it a little bit. So it is part of cluster 45 of the skybox, and you can see here the material for the DaVinci World object. It uses a material or a texture called invalid. Invalid is the DaVinci Code texture that's used whenever something is missing a shader or a texture. Now, if you saw my video about the Macworld Spartan being discovered in Halo 2, using that method where we extracted the import info or the original source file from Bungie, I extracted the same source file for the skybox in ODST on Kizingo Boulevard, so we could take a look at what Bungie was originally going for. So again, looking at cluster 45 of the skybox, we can see the DaVinci Code object. It's actually not using the invalid shader anymore. It is using something called cinematic water highlights. So that means Bungie did actually intend it to be something. They actually set the correct material, the correct texture for it. But for whatever reason, when Bungie actually imported it from their 3D modeling software into the game, it didn't import correctly, and it just broke, or it couldn't find the texture, or it was missing it for whatever reason. And Bungie just left it that way, either on purpose or by mistake. But that texture still exists in the game, and I was able to restore it correctly to what Bungie intended it to be. And you can see right here, this is what the DaVinci World Easter egg or DaVinci World object is supposed to be. Just water. It's called cinematic water highlights. That's the texture that they intended to be used there instead of the error invalid DaVinci Code texture. But for some reason Bungie chose to not fix it, and it makes sense because there's no point on a mission Kizingo Boulevard where from inside the map you can actually see the ocean out here. And because of that, Bungie probably just didn't feel it was worth the time to fix it, even though it was a quick, easy fix to set it to the correct texture, the correct material. It wasn't really much point for Bungie to fix it anyways. So maybe that's why they left it broken on purpose. But yeah, 16 years later, we now finally know what it's meant to be. It was just simply water, or rather cinematic water, outside the map. And it's also part of the skybox too, not part of the actual map. So, whatever reason, it broke, and I don't know why. Maybe some Bungie employee that worked on it could chime in if they ever see this. But yeah, now we know what the actual purpose of the DaVinci World Easter egg is, and it is just simply water that was broken. So there you guys have it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and found it to be interesting. If you did, make sure to leave a like. I'll leave thoughts in the comments. If there's any other mysteries or anything you want me to look into, just let me know. But aside from that, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.